In his teaching the "one is down" concept, the revered and legendary conducting mentor Charles Bruck would exclaim to an aspiring conductor, "Well, one is down." The student would then attempt a second round of the passage with this concept at heart. On many occasions, it was followed with a walk by Maestro Bruck from his chair at the back of the stage up to the podium, where he would more personally and somewhat pointedly relay, "One is down." Many memories of this. This was sometimes accompanied by additional vigorous efforts to show the impact of one being down, such as stepping on the conductor's foot for each downbeat or other creative techniques. If these didn't produce result, he would step back and relay, "But one is down," very emphatically, and go back to his music stand with his scores, his briefcase and chair in the back of the stage in a frustrated manner. One day, he was so completely spent and mentally exhausted with the effort, he walked off the stage through the concert hall and went straight outside for a walk because this concept was so important for him to impart to his students. Here we are, a quarter century later, and Maestro, happy to say, it still matters. Joseph Gifford, coach we mentioned earlier, encouraged his students to completely empty their energy on the downbeat. Let it have no barriers, release any tension, he would say, and fill yourself and the music with fresh and new life on the up motion. He relayed to allow yourself to change with the energy at any given moment. It's right there. Be present to take it in, he would encourage. In the Czech Republic, Maestro Frantisek Vajnar, who led the Prague Radio Symphony, the Czech Philharmonic, taught at the Prague Conservatory, and led the Hradec Králové Philharmonic, as well as mentored many conductors, was a master of varying speeds into and out of the ictus. That is the moment when the weight changes from down to up in a conductor's beat. He had the fastest up motions in his baton technique I have ever seen. This is applicable to instrumentalists thinking about the speed with which they release notes. His colleague in mentoring conductors at the repertoire workshops, which were developed by the late Dr. Harry Hurwitz, is Maestro Otakar Trhlik. He led the Prague Symphony and the Czech Radio Symphony in numerous recordings, was music director at the Janáček Philharmonic, and also taught at the Janáček Music Academy. In the score study or review sessions, he would be inquiring about a moment on the podium or a passage in the score and say, "What is the fantasy of the music?" Or, "You must have fantasy here." Meaning, your vision of the spirit of the music will impact the weight, the energy, and the balances of the music you perform and rehearse. Barbara Streisand, in her recording entitled "One Voice," speaks of each note having value, some shorter, some longer. In metric balance, each note is dynamic. None are simply passive by nature of the relationship they have to the other neighboring notes. The advice of these mentors apply to all musicians who are contemplating the pieces or works of art they have before them. When is the defining downward energy of the motion enough? When it can carry the music to the next position held by structure or royalty. Keep in mind that downward motion can be per note, per beat, per measure, and so on. It must contain the elasticity and dynamic tension necessary to carry the piece forward. Musically, the down motion is complete when the downbeat or primary unit you are working with carries the stylistic integrity to enable the up energy to the next structure point with the correct energy and character.